Well, hello, Morency. So tonight we're going to be looking at how you might build arches for a quick event, sort of like a wedding or again prom or some of these other things. So we're going to call these arches. And we might expand this into 2 video segments, we'll find out. We're going to start with basic wooden constructions. Again, very quick, very fast, dirt, cheap, and a little bit dirty. And we'll see what we come up with. So, for instance, for winter formal, I was asked to come up with basically this type of structure. And it had feet over here. And we used lots and lots of gussets. All right, these went this way. And so this was a basic arch. I happen to know that this thing was roughly 8 feet tall and 5 feet wide, I want to say. So it's actually a pretty big structure. We came up with 3 of these, and I think we burned, or didn't burn, but I think we used something like 3 2x6s to do it. So fairly easy to do. And we used some plywood scraps. I think we used the nicest part of this whole thing were the plywood scraps we used to make the gussets. So let's go and label these. Okay, so this is not a great arch. It looked fine. It looked great during the winter formal, and for what they were trying to do, it worked fine. Didn't need to be strong. Didn't need to do anything other than look pretty as people walked under. And they covered the whole thing in I want to say paper and some sort of fabric, and probably tossed in some lights. And yeah, it did the job. This is not a particularly strong thing though. And I'll tell you right now, as we sort of walked this thing into the, out of the shop and into the NPR, this leg had a tendency to go that way. This leg would go this way or this way. And these legs, and they would also tend to move, sort of back and forth this way, depending on who was standing and who was, hauling things around. So, not very strong. If we tried to move this around much more, my guess is it would fall apart. But, again, worked fine. No one tripped on it. No one died. It worked great. We could do better, though. So, first off, if we wanted to make it look nicer, we could use actual arch. So, let's take a look at that. Again, we'll do something like this. We could actually strengthen this up, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. And then we had an arch shooting across here like this. And there we go. And then over here, you can come down here with another stick. Excuse me. And this is an arch. And we're going to make this out of plywood. We should probably limit this to 4 feet if I wanted to make a bunch of them. Or we could go up to 8 foot if I wanted to make one of them. Or maybe 2 or 3 of them, depending on how big this arch was. But plywood, because of the way it's built, it's going to limit us to a certain extent. It's also going to allow us to do some really cool stuff. So this is plywood. Because we're using plywood in this case, we don't have to worry about the gussets. It's strong enough to do the job. But we will probably want to put those down here. And again, these are 2x3s. So same idea, cover it with a bunch of stuff, make it look pretty, put some lights on it, then people can walk through it and take pictures. Works great, and since it's got this nice arch to it, it looks better than that. Next option would be to turn this idea into a tree. So to do that, we would actually need to expand the feet a little bit and do some fun with that. So we'd come over here with another stick. And in this case, instead of putting this on top of the post like this, what we'd probably end up doing is sort of a star formation around the stick. So this would be a 2x4. There'd be another one coming at us like this. And then we'd have another one that sort of goes to the behind here. And then one that came out to this side. And this would create a, let's show you from the top. So again, the star formation, and this is our beam, or our post, and this is quite strong and sturdy. The only problem is people can trip over this. So this one usually gets trimmed a bit short. And from here we come up with some PVC pipe that's been cut a lot of times down the length. And that bends pretty nicely. So we can have a straight piece of pipe, or coming off this side, we could have our piece of PVC pipe that's been shoved into this tree, that's been cut. Like I said, a bunch of times. And that allows it to sort of create this arch structure. That looks pretty dang cool. And there may be other materials that do this quite as well. So this would be PVC. Now, at this point, you tape a bunch of leaves to it, paper leaves or brown craft paper to make a trunk or wood grain. So all sorts of things you can do with this, or we could do a similar version of this, where we could do, from an aerial view, if we had a bunch of these little posts lined up like this, we could do sort of a cathedral arch thing, where they arch across here like this, and like this, and like this, like this. And we could just keep this moving down a hallway, for instance. This would be an idea for a wedding or something like that. Or again, a prom would work well. So we'd have this sort of coming down here like this. And I should probably put this as a top view. So people could walk through this section and maybe get to the bathrooms over here. And of course, you'd hang a bunch of stuff over that. You could also do fabrics or other things like that. That would make it look pretty good too. So here we have 1 arch, 2 arch, 3 arch. I'm probably forgetting a couple different options. You could definitely dress this up nicely. So for instance, instead of doing a tree, we could do an arch or a column. Coming up here like this, make it out of, again, a 2x4 or something, or a 4x4. That'd be really good as a 4x4. And use this type of star base on it. But instead of doing crinkled paper on it, you could do some sort of column base. Column bases are easy to find if you go to Home Depot and grab something called a sonotube. For concrete, you can have a column. Yeah, pretty sure it's spelled that way. So you have a sonotube for columns. We could put a bunch of crinkled paper off to the side here. Over here. So, paper. And again, this is all pretty cheap. 2x4s, 2x3s cost maybe $3. We're looking at scraps from a plywood bin. So if we bought a brand new sheet of plywood, the cheapest stuff we can get is probably $8. So this structure here, we're looking at, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's be generous. 2x4s, $12, and maybe $3 in plywood. So $15 for this. Not bad. This would be a bit more expensive. Sonotubes, while not being overly pricey, are not exactly, a dime a dozen. So you want to think about that. Maybe see if you can come up with even better. And yeah, I think that's about it. So if you have any other ideas, go ahead and draw those out. Let's see how you would build an arch. And I'm going to make this into a two-part option, so we'll see big steel arches that can support some actual weight or span real distances next.